as well as the human beings. And there they say, ahara, nidra, bhaya, maithuna. These are the four components or four aspects which are common to animals as well as the human beings. I will just write down, so if you want. So these are the Sanskrit terms. We can just recite it. Ahara, ahara, in Sanskrit language. Nidra, bhaya, maithuna. So ahara means just inputs, receiving, coming towards. Like eating, drinking is generally looked upon as ahar. That is, we are taking in something, we are getting something. Ahar. Nidra, sleeping or resting.
Can you go slower?
Oh yes.
Yeah.
Ahar is inputs. Getting something. Like we get the food, we try to get water, but we also try to we develop emotions, feelings, thoughts. So all these are become ahara for the consciousness. You know, now,
Is it the passive?
now if the person is asking, you just say, how much is your salary, how much you get? So getting something is technically ahar in yogic language.
Yeah, I'm just asking if getting is a passive action or...
Yes, you are seeing my face. So you are getting some knowledge about my face.
Okay.
You are hearing my voice. You are getting some knowledge about my voice. So this is all ahara for you.
Okay.
You know, in computer language, we always use the term basic input output system. She is computer expert, better you explain this, so they will know what is ahar, what is going in. Tell them indirectly.
But also not just passively, because food and drink, we are making an action to bring it in.
Yes, so, and that is why we work day and night to get the food, to get water.
And breath as well.
Well, we also get breath.
So that's part
It
of
becomes
ahara.
important when we become breathless. Then we know the importance of breath.
So that's also ahara, the breathing.
If the child doesn't see his mother, he starts to cry. So that is his ahara, looking to his mother, getting that knowledge that mother is around, or just the touch. If you don't touch, through the touch you are getting some ahara, input. So it is in medical language we just say input, which is coming in. Then nidra, that is when we want to rest. We don't want any inputs to come in. like stand by or hibernate in computer language, sleep. So when you want to sleep, generally you switch off the television, you switch off the light. If there is very strong wind, we close the windows or the curtains. So the thing which we are wanting when we are awake, you don't want all those things to come to you when you want to rest or want to go to sleep. So otherwise you will be putting all your earphones. But when you want to go to sleep, you will remove the earphones. You are putting all the clothes. But when you want to relax, you remove the clothes. So nidra. Then bhaya. We all have got different phobias, fears, phobias and complexes. Fear of height, fear of fire, fears.
Fear.
Yes. So that is bhaya, means different types of fears.
F-E-A-R.
F-E-A-R, yes. And maithuna means a tendency to indulge in things. Indulge in playing. Some people want to indulge in drinking. And most commonly it means sex. Indulgence.
לענג את החושים. לענג את החושים.
אולי זה יצר?
So these four things are common to animals as well as human beings. The human beings have one additional quality. We can know what is good for us and what is bad for us. If you know that, then you become human being as a separate from the other animal world. If you miss that, then we are also human animals.
אנחנו, בתור בני אדם, אנחנו יודעים להבחין.
לא, אבל מה זה מיתונה? לא זוכרת איך לתרגם את זה.
והתענוגות.
רצון לענג את החושים, הוא ציין שתייה, סקס, רצון להתענג, אוכל, רצון להתענג.
מה שאנחנו קוראים לו יצר ביוגה.
So I refer to this because in Pratihahara the term is ahar. And again we start all this discussion with the term ahar. And therefore I just want you to make a table that what are your normal inputs in everyday life. From which sources you get different inputs and what is the nature of those inputs. Because then we will be able to understand this concept of Pratihahara for yoga practitioners.
It's preventing ahar. You are
It is changing the nature of the ahar. So
you stop the ahar.
we don't stop it. Just like we change the gear of the car. So from the first gear you go to the second gear. So we are changing something at the level of the engine, so it works in a different way. Or from the forward gear we make it into the reverse gear. We don't come to a standstill. We don't stop functioning. We continue to function, but in a different way.
Are these states of being, or are they elements that we can work upon towards our being? Are these states of being, or these are the elements?
It gives rise to that personality, the personality development. How the person as a whole develops right from the childhood to adulthood. So now we are going to make a small table. We are only going to work with ahar, We are at present not going to work with other three things. So we want to know just a table. Input, positive, negative. So we get input, say different food items. Let us say which type of food items you are receiving. For you, which food items are positive, which food items are negative? Just make a table. Then different drinks. So this is what generally we mean when we say input, ahar, food and drink. But then we are going a more broader understanding of ahar. What you are receiving, the visual inputs, vision, audition, smell, taste, touch, and then the movement of the arms, leg, vocal cords.
Vocal cord?
Talking.
Okay.
So we are just going to have a kind of monitoring of our own working of different senses, and how working of these senses give us these inputs, the feedback or the knowledge, and this knowledge can be classified by us as positive or negative, and the third, neutral. But everybody's lifestyle is different, and therefore they may be getting different types of visual inputs. Some may be seeing animals, maybe cats, others may be seeing dogs, someone else may be seeing hens, someone may be seeing horses or cows. So we are using our visual faculty, but we are getting different inputs. Or someone may be working with different machines. Some is working with computer, someone is working with washing machine, someone is working with car, and we get different inputs in our life, everyday life. Some are very positive, some are highly negative. So we are just trying to, this is working in spiritual yoga, because with the help of this working, we are slowly trying to go to ourself.
Trying to what?
To ourself. Because who gets this visual knowledge? Who is getting the visual knowledge?
The self.
Exactly. So this is spiritual yoga.
You mean by the self, ourselves, or the self?
Can you know my
Atman?
visual inputs? You can only know your visual inputs. I can know my visual inputs. Otherwise, we can only have informational discussion, intellectual discussion. This is not information, this is experiential. Because Patanjali Yoga Sutra talks that why we were trying to practice yoga. And there he gives his objective, yoga, chitta, vritti, nirodha. What you mean by the word chitta?
Consciousness.
Manas.
Consciousness, no?
So this being a technical term, it could be debatable or people can go on arguing. But then he has just given this and he has left to you to understand, develop your own understanding of the term chitta and vritti. And then it is translated as behavioral modifications. Vritti has been termed as behavioral modification. Whose behavior? And how the behavior develops. And then he classifies this behavior under two headings, klishta and aklishta. Complicated behavior and uncomplicated behavior. So somewhere we have to ask ourselves a question.
This is very fast, just to understand all this. Can you slow down, please?
Yes, if you try to look back to our everyday life, right from the morning till the next morning, how you will describe it?
Is it bit?
It is full of actions, movements. It is full of actions and movements. What kind of actions and movements? You are walking. You may be working with the arms. What kind of work you are doing?
Looking, hearing.
So we all are working every day, from morning till next morning. What kind of work we are doing?
With our senses. With our senses.
With our senses. And then
with our bodies, we interact with people.
we interact with people.
We have this
So
sense
in
of-
that there is a joining, there is yoga. And this is the Bahiranga yoga, because we are using our senses for interaction. We are using our motor organs for interaction. So in yogic language this is called as material yoga or Bahiranga yoga. From there, then when we feel tired, exhausted, we just stop these external interactions and we try to remain with ourselves for some time, where you don't want anything to come to us from outside, but we become aware of some disturbances, imbalances inside. You may be feeling terribly exhausted, tired, fatigued, hungry, thirsty, sleepy. And then you want to take care of all these imbalances And there then we start taking food for ourselves, taking drinks for ourselves. If you feel like if you are developing other types of tensions, then we try to pass urine to ease ourselves. We pass stools to ease ourselves. Because somewhere we feel disturbed. And we want to come out of that disturbances. Are you studying Patanjali Yoga Sutras? Or I hope we are all yoga teachers, basically. So if you are basically yoga teachers, what are our reference textbooks?
It's Patanjali Yoga Sutra, but not everyone is studying Patanjali Yoga Sutras in depth.
Because the topic as it has been given, Pratyahaara, Dharana, Dhyan, and this comes from Patanjali Yoga Sutras.
No, it's not new to us, it's known, but you bring us more and more elements to the talk that are, some of them familiar, some of them are not, and just to assimilate.
So I hope we are all familiar with the way we are leading everyday life.
Yes, that's true, but you said klishta and...
Yes, so some...
Yeah, so if you can, just slow down and explain the terms that are not so easy for everyone.
But then when you studied your Patanjali Yoga Sutras, these terms you must have already studied, klishta and aklishta vrittis.
Yeah, but you have your own explanation, and it's interesting to know, what you bring with yourself, what you bring with you to us.
No, I was just trying to make you aware what are the nature of your daily inputs. Ahara. Because this is a technical concept that they say when we are taking any food, some part of the food goes to form the physical structure. That is how a newborn baby which is only 30 centimeters long becomes now 2 meters long. Physical contribution. But some part of the input goes to form the consciousness, the mind and the consciousness. And the one which cannot be utilized is thrown out as waste matter. So any food that we are consuming has got these 3 divisions. One going to form the physical body, another forming the mind and the consciousness, and third, which cannot be utilized, being thrown out. The same thing happens with all the liquids. It forms the body. Our 80% of our physical mass is nothing but water. Then some goes to form the mind. Mind is supposed to have close relationship with the phases of the moon. And that which cannot be utilized will be thrown out as sweat and urine. Our education generally stops here in terms of food, diet and nutrition. In yoga we go beyond this. We say every day we are seeing something with the eyes. It also becomes a food for the consciousness. And with this food, there can be something very positive input, beautiful sunrise, gives us happiness, it helps us to develop. But instead of a beautiful sunrise, if you happen to see a very bad accident, it is also a visual input. But we will not say it is a positive effect on our mind, psyche. It has a negative effect. We feel a bit sad, depressed. Sometimes we feel angry, depending on the nature of that accident. It may be because of rash driving, or it may be stabbing or murder or shooting, and it gives rise to a bad taste, we say. And it is all coming to us through a visual input, ahara. But that ahara is either going to help me to develop on positive lines, or it may take me into depression, into anger. Possible? In the same way, if you hear good things, good music, it keeps me happy. But if I start hearing abusing language, it will make me angry, sad, depressed. So all these inputs are able to develop a positive state of consciousness, mind, or it can also lead to a negative state of consciousness. So that is the concept of ahara, not just the food that we are eating, but different things that which are coming to that consciousness or to the mind. Is the thing clear to you?
Yeah, sure.
Because on that background we will be trying to understand the term pratihara. But this is first we have to understand our normal ahara. The ahara during day-to-day life. Yes, you want to ask something?
You say about food that some things we take and it support our body, and some things that we don't need, we let it go. It's the same with sight and smell. I mean, there is a possibility to let go, like something that not nourishes our mind. Is there kind of this?
You forget so many things. Do you remember each and every sound that you have heard?
No, but maybe it's stored somewhere.
Either it is stored or it is deleted forever.
I don't know.
You try to dig out. Do you remember all the names of your colleagues in your kindergarten?
Of course not.
If it is stored, then dig out from the storehouse.
So you mean that everything that you take in by your senses?
You take in, or they come to you.
Okay. So
Without
you take
taking
it with
in.
your senses, and if it's not needed, they are deleted.
It is eliminated.
In any eliminated, okay. In every type of sense, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like once upon a time you may be taking interest in skating every day. Are you now interested in skating every day?
Sure not.
Swimming every day?
No.
But once upon a time you were spending a lot of time only in swimming. So if you go back and look to your life like that,
Okay.
you will find that the things in which you were interested to take, today you are no more interested to have that input.
Right.
Because we are naturally evolving. And sometimes we purposely change the nature of the inputs. People change the nature of the music. They like some kind of music certain time. Then slowly the taste changes. It becomes completely of the opposite nature. So why we change our ahara, our inputs? The fashions, the scents that you use, the diet. People once upon a time who were trying to take non-veg food morning, evening, slowly they change and want to become total vegan. Why?
Because we are changing our minds.
So is it not then, this is where we have to first understand this concept of ahara. And how the ahara is not only for the physical body, the ahara also for the mind, for the consciousness. it takes some time for people to understand this concept of ahara for the consciousness. When we are trying to educate our children not to kill others, some other community are trying to teach their children to become human bombs and to destroy life. The physical structure of both the children are the same. But the nature of ahara is different. Do you agree?
Yeah.
So this is where this concept of pratyahaara then assumes importance afterwards. Because we are first going through yamas, niyamas. Why to follow non-violence? Why to follow truthfulness? Why to follow non-stealing? Why to follow non-hoarding or non-accumulation as yamas and niyamas, which are related with our this externalizing life, the life which is related with in the society. Or let there be transparency in our behavior, in our dealings, saucha. Let there be contentment, santosha. And we'll try to think of some transcendental entities. So we begin our yoga education by giving some importance to these value systems, the attitudes to be developed in life, overall attitudes, yamas and niyamas. With these attitudes, then we start getting stabilized in life. We continue with only one particular profession or business. In the same way, in yoga we say one asana. And in that, then you continue doing that business only, that business activity or professional activity. From morning till evening, you continue doing the same activity every day, around all over the week, month, years. That is our usual lifestyle.
What do you mean by oral attitudes?
When you are doing profession, business, you do it with some moral values or attitudes.
Moral. ערכים מוסריים.
Which we call
Yama and yama. No,
yama and
I
niyam.
didn't hear you.
No, yama
Heard
and
oral.
niyama.
Yeah, sure.
Exactly.
Are you considering the yama and yama as ahara?
Yes.
That's the input you get.
It's connected to our behavior. So, is that input? Is that
Yes, it becomes input.
How does it become input?
So those are the values you get.
Like ahimsa, if you practice ahimsa, non-violence, okay, it's one input. If you are violent or you use foul language, then it's foul language, then it's affecting you as a whole.
It's my behavior that affect others.
And
But
yourself.
don't you get the feedback from your own behavior?
Your mind is affected.
Don't you just get a reflection back? When you, after a day's work, then when you just sit quietly, will you not say how you have done your business during the whole day? What was the good things you did and what was the bad things you did? How the guilty feelings or guilty conscience develops.
זה כל הזמן הולך על בסיס הדדי. זה פעולת תגובה, פעולת תגובה. זה לא משנה מאיפה זה מתחיל בכלל.
What makes people to become religious in their old age?
Become religious. Yeah.
In the old age of high.
Or become
Ask
non-religious.
yourself a question. It may, I don't want to argue. Because we just want to come to this concept of Pratihara. But to understand Pratihara, you have to first understand what is Ahara. What are our normal inputs in everyday life? Everyday life. And because of these inputs in everyday life, all these different inputs, what is the state of my consciousness? Am I happy? Am I satisfied? Or am I sad? Am I depressed? Am I somewhere more angry, more irritated? You will be able to know for yourself. It is self-realization. Now, we are going to come to one kind of ahara that in everyday life we give maximum importance to the movements of the arms and legs. Maximum. Driving the car or walking in the office or in the house, working on the computer with the arms, or cooking food in the kitchen, or so we are all the time having a feedback, ahara, of the movements of arms and legs. Everyday life, right from childhood till today. On this background, when you come to yoga, you are meant to sit quietly. And when you are sitting quietly, you stop moving your arms and legs. Do you agree? It may be Shavasana, it may be Paschimottanasana, it may be Padmasana, it may be Trikonasana, it may be anything. But you stop moving your arms and legs for some time. Do you agree?
Yeah.
That is
partly because you use it differently. It's not that if you sit in
If it's not
Sukhasana,
Ashtanga yoga, it's
if
right.
you sit in Sukhasana, for instance, it can be an active Sukhasana or it can be a very relaxed Sukhasana. It depends how you decide.
so. What
So
is
it's
the
a
definition
it's
of
different
asana
than-
according to Patanjali Yoga Sutra?
Yeah, but when you come to yoga and you sit in Padmasana and you meditate, okay? And you
On what do you meditate?
no, as forget meditate. When you are